Hello, I'm Starr Fuentes, and welcome to Casa Alma. This is Ra, my bird, and Bosco, and Merlin. I hope you enjoy Conversations with Starr. Remember, there's a certain piece in there that is perfect for you. And as you grow and change, review the video again, because another piece will be perfect for you. One of the important things that puts us into the cycle of manifesting our reality is being of service. And being of service is about serving your community, serving your teacher, serving your charity, serving whatever it is in a humble and respectful way. There are many books written about service and many masters who teach service. And for you to truly become a master and enlightened at what you do, service needs to be part of your life on a daily basis, and service needs to be done unconditionally. Sometimes the people, the things, the charities, the communities that we service are not the communities and peoples that give us our food spiritually or physically. Sometimes service is done before we receive what we need to receive spiritually or materially, emotionally or mentally. And sometimes it is done after, in the greatest state of grace. As you walk your spiritual path, you're going to find something that's kind of interesting. In my opinion, there are two types of teachings. There are taught teachings where your mind and your presence is filled with facts and you memorize the facts and your mind integrates it later with the soul, with the subtle bodies and the chakras, and there are caught teachings. Caught teachings happen when you're in the presence of someone who knows something, has experienced it, and done it. Your conscious mind handles 4 things a minute, 5 things a minute, plus or minus 4. So you could be handling 1 thing a minute or 5 things a minute in your conscious mind. Your subconscious and unconscious mind handles 10,000 things a minute. In the olden days, we knew this. We had apprentices, and they came in for a year and a day. And the apprentices would sweep the floor, take out the water, and they'd be working at a jeweler's. And a year and a day after they've been there, they'd put the little kid up there, and he'd whap, 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 and he'd cut a diamond perfectly. Because his subconscious mind for a year has been picking up the nuances of what the other gem cutters did. We haven't had apprenticeships in a long time. Maybe there's still some out there in plumbing and bricklaying and some of those arts. But please understand, if you want to be a millionaire, hang out with millionaires. If you want to be a spiritual master, hang out with a spiritually evolved person. If you want to be a great healer, find the best healer you know. And whether you're having coffee with them, being of service to them, or taking one of their classes, your subconscious mind picks up 10,000 things a minute. Now wait a minute. What about all those little war parties we have? And let me tell you about a war party. A war party is where everyone gets together and tells their war stories. I was a worse alcoholic than you were. My husband took me more on my divorce than yours did. I had worse sexual abuse than you did. And all war stories do, and these little groups that meet and tell war stories do. And please understand, all these groups are great, but most of these groups need to be focused on the tools to get you to the other side. And you're sitting around with your friends talking about how poor we are and why doesn't money grow on trees. You'll find out that those 10,000 things a minute, you'll be collecting ways to be poor from them. You'll be collecting ways to be a victim from them. You'll be collecting ways to stay stuck. You know, a lot of spiritual books teach us that everything is a mirror, that we are in relationship, in a synchronistic relationship with everything in our life. And what they forgot to tell us, that everything is a funhouse mirror. If I say I want to be the greatest healer on the planet, then God's going to give me, Source is going to give me some of the worst clients possible. If I say I want to be full of light and I have 2% anger in me, then God's Spirit Source is going to put before me a person who's 90% angry. No one ever said it was going to be a fair mirror, and no one ever said it was going to be a real mirror. If I am praying to be the lightest of light beings on the planet, and I have 0.1% of something, I guarantee you in my life what's going to happen. I'm going to be in a relationship, whether I want to or not, and this doesn't necessarily mean an intimate relationship, with someone who's going to show me what is in my way. Please remember that when you pray for light or pray to be the greatest teacher or the greatest healer on the planet, that the next day you won't be the greatest healer or the greatest teacher on the planet, and you won't be full of light. What is going to happen is the metaphorical shit is going to hit the fan, and everything unlike light in you is going to rise to the surface, and you're going to have to deal with it. People call me up and say, Starr, my life was so great and everything was just fine, and then everything fell to pieces. What happened? I say to them, you prayed. You prayed to be a better healer. You prayed to have more light in your life. You prayed for more consciousness or enlightenment. Please understand, when your prayers are answered, they don't necessarily have to be what you prayed for. They have to be the path to get to where you prayed for. When you become aligned with your inner truth and you realize that enlightenment is a slow, steady process, that yes, there are altered states of consciousness. Yes, there are peak experiences, but these do not occur on a daily basis until you study with someone, one who has them occur on a daily basis. You need to be in alignment with your inner truth, and your inner truth needs to be that you'll do whatever it takes to become that light being, to be enlightened, and to work with yourself on a spiritual basis. As each of you know, your thoughts can affect your reality. And we've had all these teachings a dozen times before. Stay in now time. Careful what you think. And please remember that each thought is a prayer. That whatever thought you have goes straight up into the universe of consciousness. And if you say, all my bills are paid, all my bills are paid, all my bills are paid 200 times in one day, and 500 times in one day, you think about how afraid you are and how angry you are that all your bills are not paid. The thoughts that you think the most will create your reality.